students, in this video we'll be talking all about the pH. What do we understand by the word pH? pH means power of hydrogen, and yes, that is Søren Peter Sørensen. It's the name of a scientist who has discovered this pH scale. And what is the function of this pH scale? What is the function of this pH scale? This pH scale helps us to tell about the strength. Though many indicators tell us about whether the solution is acidic or basic, this pH scale tells us that what is the strength, means how strong or weak the solution is. And it works on the basis of hydrogen ion concentrations. As you all know, what happens when we ionize this pure water? Yes, when we just dissociate the water, water breaks up into two ions, that is anion hydroxide and cation hydrogen, and we get the equal concentration of both. When water gets dissociated, if we are having 50% of hydroxide ion, we will be having 50% of hydrogen ion. So what happens when we add acid to water? This is one of the very important question and usually asked in the boards as well. What happens when we add acid to water? Yes, when we are adding acid to water, we are increasing the concentration of H positive ion. As you can see in this figure, if we add HCl, this HCl in water, HCl is an acid, so it is giving what? H positive and Cl negative. And so when this acid is added into the water, already the water contains what? Hydrogen ion, and further hydrogen ions got increased due to the dissociation of HCl. Next, what happens when we add base to the water? Same, when we are adding base to the water, you can again see in this figure what is happening when we are dissociating sodium hydroxide, which is a base. It is giving sodium ion and hydroxide ion. So when a base is added to the water, then the concentration of hydroxide ion increases. Why? Yes, we all know already the water is having OH negative, and further OH negative hydroxide ion increased when we dissociated NaOH, as a result of which the concentration of hydroxide ion increases. Now students, next if we talk about the pH scale. pH. P stands for potence in German, meaning power, and H stands for hydrogen ion concentration. These type of questions can be asked in the form of MCQs. Be careful. P for potence, meaning power, and H means hydrogen ion concentration. See students, as we move from 0 to 14, I'll explain you simply. This 7 is considered as neutral. If the pH comes out to be 7, the solution is considered to be neutral. Towards the left side, we have acidic, and towards the right side, we have basic. Now, how can you get to know that whether the solution is acidic or basic or neutral? We just need to simply dip this pH scale in the solution. If the solution comes out to be of red color, it means the pH is 1 and the solution is acidic. If the solution or if the pH scale which we dipped turned out to be of blue color, we'll guess what? That the pH is 11, which means it is basic in nature. So this pH scale values from 0 to 14, and the different colors which you can see it on the screen on the scale will help us to know more about what the solution is or what the nature of the solution is. So students, if we'll compare that I am having two solutions, one of pH 3 and another of pH 5, which is more acidic in nature or which is more basic in nature? First of all students, acids always have a pH of less than 7. 7 से कम हमेशा pH होगा. And as we move towards the right in the number line, the more greater is the number, the less acidic the substance is. For example, I have taken the first solution is of lemon juice, which is having the pH 3, and another solution, that is coffee, of pH 5. Now in case of acids, we all know lower the pH, the stronger the acids. So which is having the lower pH? The pH 3, that is the lemon juice. So which is strong acid? Lemon juice. That means lemon juice is the stronger acid than coffee. Moving forward, if we talk about bases, bases have a pH of more than 7. If we talk about bases, the greater is the number, the greater is the basic nature of the solution. So if I am talking about a toothpaste who's having pH 8 and the washing soda who's having pH 9, which is more basic in nature? Yes, this washing soda of pH 9, because greater is the number, higher the pH, the stronger is the base. Now students, if we talk about the pH 7, the pH 7 means the substance is neutral in nature. And if we talk about water, the pure water do have a pH of exactly 7, or all the neutral substances had a pH of exactly 7. Now, a simple question to test your knowledge. Yes, we are having 3 solutions, A, B and C. When tested with the universal indicator, showed pH of 2, 7 and 12. Which solution is neutral? Yes students, now you need to tell which solution is neutral. So yes, our B, this is our B solution, this is our A solution, and this is our C solution. So which solution is neutral? Answer me. Yes, this B solution is neutral as it is having what pH? 7. Alkaline, yes, as we move towards greater than 7, we have the basic substances. So C is our alkaline, and less than 7 are the substances which are acidic in nature. So the pH 2 is acidic in nature. Arrange the pH in increasing order of hydrogen ion concentration. सबसे ज़्यादा हाइड्रोजन आयन की कंसंट्रेशन क्या होगी? उसे सबसे ज़्यादा इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर क्या होता है? सबसे कम, अब मुझे देखना सबसे कम हाइड्रोजन आयन की कंसंट्रेशन किस में होगी. देखिए स्टूडेंट्स, जितनी ज़्यादा हाइड्रोजन आयन की कंसंट्रेशन होगी उतना वो एसिडिक होगा. अब मतलब सबसे ज़्यादा हाइड्रोजन आयन की कंसंट्रेशन किसके पास है? ए के पास सबसे ज़्यादा, उससे कम बी के पास, और उससे कम सी के पास, क्योंकि सी तो हमारा बेस है. बेस में बिल्कुल ना के बराबर H पॉजिटिव आयंस होंगे. उसके बाद हमारा जो न्यूट्रल सब्सटेंस है, और सबसे ज़्यादा किस में होंगे? हमारा A, जो क्या है? pH 2. pH 2 मीन्स इट इज स्ट्रॉन्गली एसिडिक इन नेचर. सो इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर मीन्स सबसे कम वाला जो हमारा C था, उसके बाद B, एंड देन द लास्ट इज A. Now as you can see, this pH scale shows that how as we are moving towards right of the 7 we are having basic substance, and to the left of 7 we are having acidic substance. This pH scale is quite important. You can take up the screenshot as you will be facing many MCQs regarding the pictures shown. As if milk, what is the near about pH of milk? It is 6. Tomato juice 4. Lemon juice 2. Gastric juice, which is in our stomach, it's having the pH of 1 because it releases HCl, and HCl is a strong acid. So strong acid means the pH of 1. And if I'll talk about ammonia solution, it's 11. So these type of questions can come in the twisted form, though it's not sure and it's not necessary that this can come, but for those who seek 100% marks, they need to go through it very carefully. If we talk about the importance of pH in everyday life, where all we use pH, what are its applications, and much more. The first is the pH in our digestive system. This is one of the most important questions usually asked in many of the ways. That is, the short questions or the long questions, it can come in either of the forms, students. So as you can see, the pH of the digestive system varies in the different digestive parts. For example, if we talk about the pH of the stomach, it is from 1.5 to 2, because we all know that the stomach releases hydrochloric acid, which means more acidity and more acidic strength. If we talk about the pH of the small intestine, it is varying from 7.2 to 7.5, and so the different digestive parts have different pH. Now, we all know that in our stomach, HCl is secreted, which is responsible for the breakdown of food particles without harming the stomach. बिना stomach को harm करे वो food particles के breakdown में help करता है. Sometimes it happens that we have not eaten the food for longer duration, but our stomach releases HCl every time. So as a result of it, the concentration of acid in the stomach increases, and this leads to acidity. And acidity causes pain and irritation in the stomach. So what we must do, students? Yes, we will be taking antacid. We have already discussed in some of the slides what is antacid. Antacids are those substances or those solutions which reduces the effect of acids, and hence they are basically basic in nature. जब acid already बहुत है और उसमें हम base डालेंगे तो हमारा effect neutralize हो जाएगा. So antacids, for example, magnesium hydroxide or milk of magnesia. This is a mild base and is responsible for neutralizing the excess of acid present in our stomach. So do remember which acids or which antacid we are taking: magnesium hydroxide or milk of magnesia. Then next we talk about another application of pH in our mouth. Students, what happens when the pH of our mouth gets lower than 5.5? Then our tooth enamel starts breaking or get corroding. So when the mouth or when the pH of the mouth is lower than 5.5, the tooth decay starts, and at the lower pH, enamel is made up of calcium phosphate. This is also one of the most important questions which can be asked, and this enamel gets corroded when the pH gets reduced or less than 5.5. These type of questions are asked in the boards, and these are very important. So how can we prevent tooth decay? Again, when the pH is less than 5.5, means there is a concentration or more amount of acid in our mouth. So just to neutralize the effect of acid, we will be using the base. For example, we will be using toothpaste or the saline water. Both are basic in nature and will neutralize the excess acid in our stomach. The next application or the next importance of application of pH is the bee sting. Yes, students, when the honeybee stings us or any person, it injects an acidic liquid. And which liquid or which acid does it inject? Do you know? Yes, it injects the methanoic acid, which is also known as formic acid. Do not get confused. Methanoic acid or formic acid. And this acid causes immense pain and irritation wherever it cuts or stings. So what we must do? We must again rub a mild base like baking soda, and what it would do? It would neutralize the excess acid in the stomach. So what we must do? We must rub the baking soda over that particular area where the bee has stung, because again it will neutralize the acid released by the bee and gives us soothing effect. Next application or next pH which we will be talking about is the pH change and the survival of animal. See students, the aquatic animals do also have a pH range where they can survive. So they can survive when the pH range is near about 6. So when the pH of water is about 5.6, it is called acid rain. Sometimes students, when the rain we will now be talking about the pH change and the survival of animals. Students, the aquatic animals can also survive in the limited pH range. But when acid rain occurs, the pH leads till about 5.6, and that situation is called acid rain. And too much acid rain कैन लोअर द pH ऑफ रिवर. अगर बहुत ज़्यादा एसिड ड्रेन हुई है तो pH क्या हो जाएगा, रिवर का कम हो जाएगा. और जब pH कम हो जाएगा सो दीज एक्वेटिक एनिमल्स सर्वाइवल बिकम डिफिकल्ट एंड अल्टीमेटली इट इज़ द रीज़न फॉर देयर डेथ.